Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniX TCG, and on today, New Year's Eve, we will be putting out our final video for the year, and yeah, it's going to be about the two new SCRs. We have the effects for both of them, and I think this is going to affect the game in a major way, so we're going to dive in. That being said, if you're excited for more Dragon Ball Super Fusion World content, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for further things, including things like Gundam the card game. I'm also going to be covering that. I'm super excited to touch on all these card games. And then if you want to do me a super solid, go in the description, check out my second channel, Universe X, where I cover anime, manga, gaming things, all in that area. And yeah, give it a subscription, maybe check out some videos, because I am this close to getting it over 1,000 subscribers, and I would really love to break that milestone as we enter the new year. Last but not least, I want to wish everybody a happy new year. Be responsible and safe tonight, even if you get a little buck wild, and I hope to see so many of you guys next week at Orlando for Bandai Card Games Festival. I will be taking the stage amongst many peers, and we're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be a great event. So let's talk about these secret rares. So funnily enough, when it comes to the colors that these are in, green and yellow are the only two leaders that I have not covered for my breaking down what we know of set 5 so far videos, and that's because I think that they needed more to be seen. Like, Gogeta definitely needed more to be seen, but I also kind of saved him for the middle of the pack. Green Goku still needs a little more, and we've barely seen anything from Janemba, to be honest. It all seems kind of like nebulous. But the secret rares are out, and they are definitely going to impact the meta one way or another, so I do want to talk about them. The first one on the list is actually going to be the Goku, the Namek Saga Son Goku. This is a bit of a doozy. Bro is a 7-cost, 45,000 attack power card, and he has double strike. Now, his permanent, though, says if your life is at 2 or less and there are no 7-cost specified cards in your battle. Yeah, cost 7 specified cards in your battle area, reduce this card in your hand by 4. So what this means currently is that if you're at 2 life or less, you can play this guy for 3. And in green, that is nothing. In fact, in green, playing this guy at 3, playing a double striker, a 45k double striker at 3, will allow you to have energy up for Gigantic Meteor, for Earth Shattering Blow. There's a lot of good cards that you can play. Just, I think it's Earth Destroying Blow, yeah. There's a lot of good cards you can play off of this. If you're playing it at 3, you can provide some pretty much uncounterable or uncombable shotguns to your opponent. That's pretty tight. The other things we need to note about this is that he does not play himself if you have 7 costs on board. Now, currently, the main 7 costs that people would associate with green would be the 7 cost SCR from set 1, the Son Gohan, but you do have a couple cards every now and then from other decks. For the most part, this shouldn't really clash. This is really just here to make sure that you can't play a Goku into a Goku. You can't play a Goku, double strike your opponent, and play another Goku and double strike them from 2 to 0, and that would be horrendous. But yeah. Now, I don't think this is like crazy. Like, this isn't, I'm just not reading this and being like, oh, this is snapped. You have to be pretty low on life, and then you have to be playing, like, you know, you have to have this card in hand in green. Now, the Goku deck seems to want to awaken and use its life as a resource. You're pretty much taking from your life pool, and you are constantly healing. But other green decks can't really reliably go down that low, and it'll be kind of a pinch hitter. That being said, a double striker, a 45k double striker for 3, I do think this card will be a 1 and 2 or 2 of in most green decks. I do think he has the power. It's more of that like moment where it's like, you know, call the ambulance, but not for me. And that is what this card allows you to do. Just your opponent thinks that, okay, he has 8 energy, so the worst he can do is play a Broly. He has 10 or 12 energy. The worst thing you do is play a Broly with some backup. Nah, psych, dude. I am literally going to, like, if you think about it this way, you could play a 6-drop double striker, like the Gohan, for instance, from the common Gohan that's double striker if there's a Son Goku in the grave, and then you could pile on that and take them from 2 to 4, or from 4 to 2, and then you could play this for 3, swing Gigantic Meteor in the rest of your hand, and hopefully take them down from 2 to 0. So there are some very interesting plays with this guy. I do think that he is worth running, especially in certain decks. I think that in Gohan, you know, even in Vegeta, because Vegeta you can get down low on life and then play this guy for 3 and still have your other 2 to 3 energy open to do other plays. I do think that we are in a position where outside of androids, and maybe even in androids, this is going to be a 1 to 2 of, because of its ability to literally push game out of nowhere. He is a Sun Goku, and so I do believe he's searchable by the Chi-Chi searcher that can search Sun Gohan childhood, as well as Sun Goku's. And so that's going to be a little bit powerful. But Green Sans just pretty much gained another little instrument. Now we do have to see if we get a top 5, top 3, top 4 Namek searcher, and that could change up things. But for a little bit, it seems like most green decks will be able to splash him, but Sun Goku will probably play 3 or so, because you'll just want to play this easy, huge beater. And 7 cost, 45k attack is nothing to scoff at. You will probably be able to have this guy survive on the field. He's going to be tough to swing over. Red can soften him, but that's about it. And then other things will have to kind of play some of their better removal to get rid of it. So I do think this is a very, very strong card. And since he only reduces himself in your hand instead of on the field, he is going to be able to come out for cheap and then dodge a lot of cost-based destruction. So I would not count this guy out at any time. It's pretty good. I think past that, that's pretty much it. I do think that the decks he's gonna like if you're not androids, it's not that you're a Sand leader, it's the fact that androids have a very android centric build, because you need the androids in the drop to be able to use android 17, 18 4 cost. But if you were running a non-android green leader, I think there's no way that this isn't just a card that's like 1 to 2 in your deck. I think 2 at minimum, just because of what it can do. You can hold 1 in hand, you can charge 1, you can hold 1 in hand for the most of the game, but there are going to be some turns where you're like, okay, what can my opponent do? And they're going to be like, well, I'm charging to 12, so a lot. But in the Goku deck, you're not going to be charging that high, but this is still going to be the card that you use to pop off and then start playing cards around it, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Play him for 2, or sorry, play him for 3, and then use an effect to heal, use your leader effect to heal, and then, you know, you're back up at 3 or 4. You're sitting heavy with this beater, and if they get your life down again and get rid of it, you can play another one. So yeah, pretty much that's it for this one. Now the next one is actually really interesting. So the Frieza just says when attacking, it has barrier. First off, it's a 4 cost 30k. That's like, it's pretty weird stats for an SR. It's pretty low. It's like set 1 Goku. But barrier when attacking, to choose up to one of your opponent's rested battle cards, the cost of 5 or less, and place it in the drop. So here's what we're looking at. I feel a lot of different ways about this card. In terms of what it's doing, it is trying to wall break a mechanic that was putting yellow in some very uncomfortable positions, i.e. Jiren. You're able to get rid of cards like Jiren, and they can't hurt you like that anymore. On top of that, even if you're playing against a fellow yellow deck, you can use this effect to put things into the drop outside of 3 cost Vegeta's protection. Now, the thing that does kind of get at me is that this card, it's a 6 cost essentially if you're trying to use the effect in 1 turn, and that's really rough, because while it has barrier, you don't want to turn this guy sideways. If you turn this guy sideways and you don't have some surefire way of keeping heat off of him, he is very easily attacked over by this time in the game. Now, on that note, you play him and he has barrier, so he can't be touched. He can't be touched by red. He's not being sickled. He's not being popped by green. He's not being popped by black. There is a lot that you can actually like just count this guy in for, because barrier is going to keep him on the field. And then the following turn, when you charge to 5, you can turn him sideways, swing for 30, which is a decent number on any lead that's not 25, and then you can tap 2 and then blow up something. Now, there are some leaders that interact with this better than normal, and it's actually kind of cool because most leaders do something with this guy that are blue. Like, it's actually kind of funny when you think about it. If you're not Majin Buu, you actually, every yellow leader has a cool different effect you can use with it. So, for instance, if you're Frieza from the starter deck, you can attack with this guy and then untap him. Therefore, making him never able to be attacked. That's great because you can attack with him the first turn you play him on curve. You can attack with him and then untap him. The next turn you attack with him, uses effect, get rid of something, untap him at the end of the turn. And so he's really sick with Frieza. But then you go to Vegeta, and Vegeta can attack with him, tap 2 to remove something, untap 2, and you're right back with your defense up, and that's absolutely marvelous. Then you go over to set 3, and you have Majin Buu, and Majin Buu doesn't really do anything with this guy. And you have set 4, and you have Super Buu, and Super Buu doesn't do anything with this guy. But then you go to set 5, and you have Janemba, who will be able to, you can attack with this guy. You can play this guy on curve, attack with Janemba, untap 2, attack with this guy, tap 2, remove something. So, and then past that, if this guy can survive, every turn past then, you'll be able to use his effect for free. And that is the cool part about the leaders. If you're not a Majin Buu leader, you have a unique interaction with this leader. So I think that that's actually really, really strong. That's going to be pretty cool. Barrier saves this card. If it was not for Barrier, this card would suck, because 4 cost 30k is susceptible to every single piece of removal for every single color. Like, yeah, no, if it wasn't for Barrier, this guy would be open season. But because he has Barrier, we're in a pretty good position to actually keep this guy on the board, let him get his value, activate his effect. And like I said, he's good in every single yellow deck that's not Majin Buu, and you just have to figure out how you best want to play him. So on top of that, him being Frieza's army, or Frieza's army, Frieza clan, is great because, oh yeah, and Cooler, I forgot about him. Cooler can untap this guy as well. If you like that's actually a whole nother point. If you're playing Cooler and you play this guy and you untap the 5, bro, Cooler could literally use this guy's effect twice. You could swing with Cooler for 20, swing this guy for 30, tap 2, kill something, or play something in the drop, activate Cooler's ability, untap this guy, swing, and then use your last 2 energy. Yeah, you didn't play anything for the turn, but you just swung for 30 twice and got rid of 2 5 or less bodies. And that's not a bad play. You kept all your combo power in hand, you pressed pressure, and you eradicated their board, unless they're playing green, or late game blue, or late game red. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So, yeah, I think that we're actually at a place where that can work. So, Frieza, Cooler, SSB, Vegeta, and then Janemba all have some pretty cool, unique reactions or interactions with this. So I think that's pretty nice. But yeah, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. I want to see this card in practice. I think this card is really, really strong, but I do need to see it because on paper it feels like it might be fool's gold. Like I think this gives us an effect that we've always wanted in yellow, but it's a little too costly and you might have to jump through too many rings. You're doing this to get rid of a Jiren while green is tapping 2, drawing a card, and removing it to energy. And that just doesn't necessarily feel the best. But the fact that this guy has synergy with the Frieza's army and Frieza clan cards may just be something that comes into play a bit more than I'm giving it credit for. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And yeah, I don't think it's any doubt that the secret rare, the alt arts, the alt arts may be something, but the god rares, it's definitely gonna be Frieza, you will die by my hand, versus Goku, you fool, and then like the shooting, they might even link, the arts might even link, but that, I don't think there's a way that you look at these 2 cards and you go, yeah, we're not gonna capitalize on that moment. So I'm pretty sure that's that. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the art. I probably put it up on screen. But yeah, there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are going to enjoy your New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. Let's start this year off on a good note. Positivity moving forward. I hope everybody gets blessed by the things that they're trying to do, and I'm gonna be working my butt off as always to make sure that my dreams come true as well. Happy New Year, guys. If you're watching this close to midnight, after midnight, anytime around there, and like I said before, be safe, because I want to see every one of you guys in this comment section for years to come if you guys are still playing card games that long. So thank you guys, I'll see you, and yeah, shout outs to the people that are going to be at Card Fest.